Hi, I'm the multifarious fisherman. This is 7 Fish. We're out here, we're gonna try to pop a couple little stocker trout out of these lakes. For people starting out with a fly rod, it's a great opportunity to get out and get some fish on your fly rod, get some time in, get some experience setting hooks and stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. I just had a bunch of fish jumping and rising over here, and when I walked over here, I kicked 3 geese that ran across the water, flew, and put them all down. So let's see if they start picking up again.
So what I want to do is tell you a story. Well, what I want to do is tell you 2 stories.
Yeah, they are rising over here. It's a shallow part of the lake that warms up quicker, and there's ice on the fringes here. It's plenty cold, so we're gonna hit this water that might have a couple more degrees in it. They are jumping. Hopefully you can see it on camera.
One is a story about persistence, and another is a story about patience and maybe losing it. While I was trying different things, switching flies, trying to figure out what was going to work for me, the trout were taunting me. They were jumping all around me and making it a little bit frustrating because I couldn't seem to get them to bite. After going through several different flies and a couple of different kinds of presentations, had a gentleman who showed up right across from me on that end of the lake, and literally the only 2 people on the lake. He was close to me. It could have been a little frustrating. It's not throwing shade at him at all, but certainly there were fish jumping there, and that's a good reason to be where we were. He did, however, start catching some fish with spinners. As we've shown on the channel, spinners can be tremendously effective for these stocker trout and for stream trout too, but it was frustrating because I was doing a technique that I know works, but it was not proving effective, at least at that point. Packed up, went to the other end of the lake, and did find some fish that were jumping, so I thought, I'm gonna throw here. I actually started catching trout pretty good before I even had my camera out. But then I thought, well, I better go get my camera because I wanted to record it for you. And I was having some trouble with the batteries by that point. Everything was cold and the battery life was not great. So I did manage to find one battery that had stayed warm or whatever and had sufficient charge to run about a 24-minute chunk of video that I think demonstrates how the day went after I turned the corner, tried a couple of different other flies, slowed my presentation, really concentrated on strike detection, and turned the day into what it ended up being, which was a very successful day. I probably fished like this for an hour and a half. And like I said, these fish are culled from about 24-minute clip of video. First 2 that I showed you were not in the 24 minutes, but the remaining, I think maybe 18 trout are from literally a 24-minute stretch of about an hour and a half of fishing.
Osprey or an eagle or a heron, something.
It was very steady, consistently catching fish, and it was a lot of fun, to be honest. Released them all, didn't have any mortality that I was aware of. So feel good about that. If you can take somebody, a kid or an adult that doesn't fish, out to get them on some fish so that they have some fun, it's a great idea and a good opportunity to do that. The fly that I eventually settled on was a flashback bead head hare's ear, and my success with that fly is best summed up by the statement, I fished it until it was a bare hook. I caught enough trout on it, they literally tore it up. Gone.
Just nymphing, just watching for strikes.
They would hit, and kind of the technique, the retrieve that they wanted, which was slow and sinking retrieve. It was a countdown retrieve, watch the end of the line jumped, you set the hook. If the end of the line didn't jump, I based it basically on a count. I counted myself down to about 5, one, nice strip set style retrieve. Sometimes there was a fish on at the end of my count, sometimes or frequently there was not, but strip set it and then just let it sink again. Count it down, do the same, count it down, do the same. Once it was in an area where I didn't think that I was going to get bit, I picked it up and put it back out. Also watching the jumping fish. Fish who are rising, surfacing, jumping. I tend to throw in that general area because those trout were traveling in packs, and the trout that you saw jump didn't bite it, which frequently I didn't. There were other trout there, and a lot of times they would pick them up. That was my general gist. I told you what fly I was doing. I told you how I was doing it. All you got to do is pick up a fly rod, get out there, and get after them yourself. And if you're an accomplished fly caster, take somebody else with you. Show them how. Tree and I have been having some fun. She's enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Thanks for watching. Sub if you like to see more content. Like the video if you liked the video, and join us again on Tuesday and Friday for more videos.